Two videos 2 months apart. 32 pounds. Diet and workout is coming along nicely. Hey everybody, Tank Bishop here. As you see from the title of the video, this is going to be about sleep studies and sleep apnea and some of the experiences I'm having now with it, along with stories I've heard of other truckers across the country and how ununiform this rules are now in this particular subject. It's really confusing, and it's so confusing to me it's even hard for me to make this video. I don't really know where to start to make the point. As you know, I don't really like to make long videos, but I really don't have a choice this time. But I'm just going to try to jump into it and show you what problems I'm having and what solutions I've found and how they can help everybody. This pertains to everybody across the nation. It's sort of hit and miss right now. You talk to one DOT examiner, medical examiner, he knows nothing about this situation with requiring a sleep apnea test, and then another one says yes, it is required. So you really don't know what to do as a driver, and I don't want to get caught without the proper test or what have you to lose my certification as a truck driver. So I went out and I found the public law that the Congress, the 113th Congress, signed into public law pertaining to the says the commercial motor vehicle operation requirements relating to sleep disorders. And basically it says in a nutshell that they can't make it policy without a rule making. It was Public Law 113-45, signed October 15th, 2013, and I'll leave all the links in the description so you can go and check it out for yourself. But it's just like that on their website. It's real easy to find. As soon as you type it in, it comes right up. Well, I found that. So there's no ruling as far as the FMCSA goes, because they've made them stop instructing medical examiners to do this. But before that was written, some medical examiners have already been through the process and the training and the certification to become examiners, and they're using the old rule, because when they made this new law, nobody called the examiners and told them to stop, tying the two together. So there's no real guidance on it anymore. So what they're doing, they're just referring back to the training manual and the one they have and going with that. Now the FMCSA has removed the sleep study disorder from the training manual and the entire FMCSA website. You can go there right now and try it. Type in sleep study, sleep apnea, and there's not even a mention of it anywhere on the website anymore. And that's what makes it so hard to get a determination on what's going on, because nobody can find any information. But I found, well, let me just start by saying that my company is a little ahead of the federal government and the FMCSA. If they hear of a ruling or something like this coming up in the future, they go ahead and start taking action now to get everything squared away before they're forced to do it by law, and which is requiring all of our drivers to have a sleep study if you answer certain questions yes. And a lot of people wondering what the questions are, so I've searched it out and I found this. A guy showed this to me. I'll get to his name later. He's the one that can is helping me out with this, but it's called Stop Bang. This is the questionnaire that the doctor will ask you when you go to get your medical card certification, possibly, if he's, like I said, maybe, I don't know. But if he does, these are the questions that you're going to have to answer to decide whether you need a sleep study or not. It's on a point system, and the first one is, Stop Bang. It's just using the letters. Snoring is the first one. Do you snore? Next question, are you tired? These are yes or no answers. Has anyone observed you stop breathing, choking, gasping during your sleep? Yes or no. Blood pressure, are you being treated for high blood pressure, or do you have it? Is your body mass over 35 BMI? Are you older than 50? Is your neck size greater than 17? And are you male? So if you answer yes to 2 of these questions, which I, just right off the bat, being a male over 50, I'm already scoring a 2. The neck size, 17 inches. As you see from the video, or the little thing I put right at the beginning of this video, I have really been grinding out a lot of cardio trying to get my weight down. I've lost quite a bit of weight, and the neck size is down to 17.5 inches, so hopefully in another month I'll be able to get that completely down. But the BMI is going to be right on the line. I was 320, now I'm down to 285. I need to get that under 270 for the BMI to be in the correct order, but I'm really working on it, trying to get everything right, because the day of the truck driver being a big fat guy is going to be over. You're going to have to be in shape, basically, to drive a truck one day. Maybe not immediately, but they're going to weed all the fat, unhealthy drivers out and just be replaced with younger, stronger, better shaped drivers. It's just like when they did like with the old trucks. They make new rules. You grandfather in on some of the old trucks, can have some of the old emission systems, and then one day they'll all be gone. Once they all break down and leave, now we've got these new certified clean air idle trucks now and stuff like this. So, but I've also put this in the link so you can go there and take the test for yourself and see if you, just like the first test, to see if you may need a sleep study. It says here, if you answer yes to 3 to 4 questions, you're in intermediate risk. 5 to 8 yes answers is a high risk. So I'm thinking 3 to 4 yeses, you're going to have to take a sleep study. And maybe not this time. Like my company, like I said, they're probably ahead some, I don't know what timeline I would put on. I'm not saying they're a year ahead, but this thing is going to be required for everybody one day, very soon, and you don't want to be caught way out of shape and not ahead of the game on this. So what I did, I called NASTC, the National Association of Small Trucking Companies, and talked to them about it. And there's a man there, Skip Williams, the Director of Health, Driver Health, and he's got a program that he's working with several doctors, and I'll let him tell you more about it. I'm going to put his number here and in the description, and his email will be in the description as well, and you can contact him to see if he can help you, and he can. I'm going to put a little video here, just a minute, a little clip of a video of some equipment that they sent. What I've done, I've gone ahead and started my sleep study process, and there's equipment they send out to check the first, well, like I said, the first test I would take is the stop bang test on the internet, see if you maybe will be required to have a sleep study, and I've talked to some people about it, and they're like, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this. You're going to have to do it if you're going to drive, or you're going to have to find another job. It's just as simple as that. Even though, like I said before, it may not be today for you, it is for me, and my company is doing it today. Other companies across the country are doing it today. There's a lot of drivers losing their certification, and once he hands you that 30-day card and says, or 90-day card and says, bring me back a sleep study, that's it. There's nothing you can do. And then the process of that Skip and I talked about, Skip Williams, I'm a local driver, so I can get an appointment pretty much any day of the week, and no problem. But if you're an over-the-road driver, no telling where you'll be when your sleep study appointment comes up, because the sleep study offices are getting so booked now that it's really hard to get an appointment for maybe under 2 months. So if you did a test today, it may be December the 15th before you could even get in to do a sleep study, and that eats up 2 months of your 30-day or 90-day card, and then that only leaves 30 days to do the sleep study, get your CPAP if you need it. And if you don't need it, you'll be okay. But if you do need it, then you have to get your CPAP machine. It has to be fitted and regulated. Then I think you have to turn in 30 days or maybe 7 days. Skip said something about 7 days of information from the CPAP machine to make sure everything's working correctly. But he's got a thing here that he's got the sleep apnea doctor, and they're getting everything really ahead of the game. It's the first test he gives you is the oxygen saturation test. It's just a little, I'll show you right here in this video. Okay, this is the unit I was speaking of. It's very easy to use. You put this on your wrist, whichever side is comfortable. You strap the wrist computer on. Has a Velcro strap. And this goes on your finger. Doesn't matter which finger you put it on. You hold down the silver button until it begins to read, and you get a reading on this thing. It's for your oxygen saturation. It's just like they check at the hospital, but this one you wear all night, so they get a reading when you take this back and see what your oxygen saturation is all night long, and gives a complete readout. This is a pre-test to the sleep apnea or sleep study that you may have to take. And so that video. It was shot a few days ago. I got it one night or one afternoon. Wanted to do a quick turnaround on this thing, so I took the test that night and I had to send it right back out. So I just sat down and did a real quick video. I didn't really know what I wanted to say about it, and I didn't know if he wanted me to say anything, but he said it was okay to mention it and show the device and how it works. And that'll be the second test. So what it does, hopefully I'm going to say it again here in case I didn't mention it. I cannot remember what I said about the device, but when you put it on, it measures your oxygen saturation through your finger throughout the night, and then when you send this unit back to the sleep study doctor, they take and they get a printout and make sure your oxygen did not drop into the 80s, I guess. I'm not sure about the numbers, but if it drops, that's a second sign that you may have sleep apnea. If you can maintain a 95 to a 97 oxygen saturation all night long, you're going to get a clean report, I guess. But I'll let him tell you about it. You have to call him to. I don't want to get too involved in the details. He explains it better than I can. But this is the whole point of this video, is drawing attention to what they're doing. They will let you take this equipment. They will mail it to you, and you can take it in your truck, in your home, wherever you are in the country. You can do a sleep study, or this part of the sleep study, in the same week you call him, I would say. I don't want to put a quick time. I called him one day. 3 days later I had the unit, and then it's back. It'll probably be back in his office by Tuesday or Wednesday. So anyway, I hope all this helped. I hope it wasn't too much of a rambling video. But this thing is legit. They will not. When I called him, he never asked me what my company name was. I didn't give him my driver's license number or anything like that. So I heard he said that a lot of people think that they're going to turn this study over to the FMCSA and let them know that you're having oxygen saturation problems, or turning it over to your company. They have no idea where I work. At this time they will. Eventually, I guess I'll tell them. But they're only going to report back to you. This information, they're trying to help you be healthy, in other words, and maintain your job, maintain your CDL certification and everything. And it's a great deal. It's a time saver. I highly recommend it. And you know how I do all my videos. I don't get paid for any of this. I'm just letting you know what I've found out. You can do it this way. It's very convenient. It's the easy way. Or you can wait around and wait for a medical examiner to tell you to do a sleep study. Then when you make the call, well, no, actually you don't make the call. My medical examiner won't even refer me to a clinic because he's afraid people accuse him of, I guess, of conflict of interest. So he says you have to go to your doctor. So then you have the DOT physical exam. Then you have to make an appointment with your doctor. So there's another day that's going to be involved, if you're over the road. And then they set up the sleep study, and hopefully you can work your travel plans out to be in that area at the time of the sleep study. So there's another day you have to lose. Then after 90 days, you have to go back again, or before the 90 days, and go back to the regular medical examiner. Then not to even mention, I forgot to mention that the process of getting the sleep mask set up and everything, it's just a lot of tests, and NASTIC with Skip Williams have worked it out where you can do all this and get your CPAP machine if you need it, because you have to have a prescription for a CPAP machine. You just can't go and buy one. You have to have a prescription for it, and they can take care of all that if it's needed, or if it's not, they can go ahead and get you a clear bill of health at a fraction of the cost of what a sleep study is going to require. And you can, like I said, you can go ahead. What I did, I went ahead and get tested for this part to see where I stand, and I'll know more about it I would say by next weekend. So I'll probably do another video and let you know how my study turned out, and if it's good, like I hope it is, great. If it's not, we'll go on and I'll do more videos on the next process. So you'll be able to see my progression through this thing if need be, or if I have a clean bill of health, you can still go with Skip and do it that way. But the number I've placed in the description box is his cell phone, actually, so you will get direct link to him when you call. You don't get a switchboard. You don't get voicemail. You might get voicemail if you call at the wrong time. He is in Tennessee, so keep that in mind. But he answered the phone every time I've called him. He's answered the phone in the daytime hours. Haven't tried him at night yet, but anyway, I've rambled on enough, and I hope this is helpful to you. And we'll see what happens next. So, Tech Bishop signing out.